All right. So it's time for Josh time. How y'all doing today? Ah, feeling tired. You okay? You're tired? Okay. All right. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So we're going to be talking about this week's Torah portion, Chayei Sarah, and actually it's kind of there in the middle. So so we know so in our life today, it's really fast. We always have things going on. It's like we never have a moment to have just like a quiet time. It seems like it's just like everything's going all the time, right? But we learn from this week's parsha about how to take a break in the middle of the day. We learn from our forefather Yitzhak. And so I want to just talk about a personal experience. So a few years ago, we got to go to Israel, and then I was working there in Israel for about 2 weeks. And the company I work for has its office there and headquarters in Tel Aviv in Israel. And so I was there working at the office, and a religious Jew there came to me, and he told me, he's like, we have Minka after lunch, because he saw that I was wearing tzitzit, and he assumed that I was very, very religious, like he was, right? At the time, I wasn't to that level, right? But when you're wearing tzitzit, they think you're like top, right? So just to let you know, when you go to Israel, if you're wearing tzitzit, they're gonna think you're tzaddik, okay? So anyway, so I'm there, and he tells me, oh, every day after lunch, around 2 o'clock, we have this little Minka service, and all these, all these professional, software professionals go into a room and have Minka together. I thought that was like amazing, right? Like that doesn't happen around here. It happens maybe only in Israel. I'm sure it happens in other companies too, but it was very neat, right? And not only that, but that company it's just a secular company, right? It's just a software company, but even there, they will have a Minka service, and they actually have quite a few religious Jews. At least when I was there, I saw a lot of them. And so so I just thought that was like a really cool thing, that it was like part of their natural work day, that they would take a time in the middle of the day to pray to Hashem, right? And they're living out their Judaism even at work, right? So I thought that was really neat. So this made me realize, I guess, think about like how the morning prayer service and is kind of natural. You're waking up in the morning, you do your morning prayer service. Your day hasn't really started yet. It's barely starting, so you have to set aside this time to do your morning prayers. And then in the evening time, the evening prayers, the RV, it's easy as well, because the day is kind of slowing down a little bit, and you have time to do your evening prayer, or at least we do like our bedtime Shema and stuff. And so we set aside that time in the evening, but like afternoon is hard. I mean, right? You're in it. You're like working. You're busy working on something, or you're driving or something. You're doing something, right? And you can't just like stop and like start praying, right? But um, our forefather Isaac, he stopped and he prayed in the afternoon. He was praying in the afternoon when his future wife came and saw him. That's the first thing she saw, was her future husband stopping in the middle of his day and praying. Right? It's pretty cool. And so so it just shows us it's a very cool, a good thing to do, right? It's a good thing to do. And our sages teach us about this. They teach us that when Isaac went out to commune in the field towards evening, that this wasn't any, but it was deliberate. It was like meant to take a break. And another interesting thing, another thing that that kind of caught my interest is what Yeshua said. He said another thing. He said something. He said this in Matthew 6:6. He said, "But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you." So I think when Yeshua was saying this, it was like a different time, and maybe a different something different was happening. But I think that time what he's talking about is the afternoon prayer because mostly when you're praying, at least for us, when you're praying in the morning, you're already in your home, and then and in the evening you're already in your home for those other times that you're praying. So why would Yeshua tell his disciples to go into their home to pray, other than maybe if it was during like Mincha time, right? And that's my guess. It's just a guess. But it's interesting that he's telling them to go in secret. So there must have been something about praying in public that, maybe it was like you're getting more honor when you're doing it or something. So he's like saying like, don't be so conceited or whatever it is. Because he also told them like not to wear their things too long and stuff like that. Right? He was telling them to be humble when you're praying, essentially, right? And so, but we see in other examples that the Mincha prayer was prayed in public, especially for Daniel, prophet Daniel. He was thrown in the lion's den for doing public prayer in the afternoon, right? I mean, he did it 3 times a day, and one of them was in the afternoon, right? And so we know that it's also done in public too. So I think, but just to show you that I think Yeshua also encourages to do a Mincha prayer. That's why I put that little quote in there. But let's continue. So another thing that our sages teach us is a person should always be careful. That word "be careful," which is zahir, concerning the afternoon prayer, because Elijah was answered only in the afternoon. Why? Because when God sees us struggle to make time for prayer despite our burning schedule, he responds with special attention to those prayers. And so that's an interesting thing our sages taught us. And they also taught us that word "be careful" can also be translated as shine. So to shine. So I think in this example, it is a kind of a more fitting thing to when you're doing Mincha, like the men who are doing Mincha at the office, or like Daniel. He was there and he was shining when he was doing Mincha, right? He was showing everyone that he is going to still stand for Hashem, and he's still going to commune with Hashem at the time that his forefather Isaac did. And so I think it's a wonderful thing, and I'm not sure why Yeshua said to go in secret, other than maybe at one point people they were not shining. They were maybe just I don't know what was going on, but they were not shining at that time. I don't think, maybe, I don't know. So anyway, so like I often like to do, I like to give you a challenge, right? Here's your challenge this week. Set an alarm on your phone or wherever for 2 p.m. every day, and just take the few minutes it takes to do Amidah. If that's all the time you have, just do the Amidah. There's a couple few things. The regular Mincha service, there's only like 2 other things to do as well. So if you want to do the full Mincha, do the full Mincha. It doesn't take very long. So this week, take that time, set an alarm, and just stop and do your prayer. And it doesn't have to be long. Just do it in a quiet spot. Connect with Hashem, and may you be revived. I feel like whenever you pray with Hashem, when you take that time out, that you're revived. Like you get a little more energy. Your mind becomes a little more clear when you take when you take that time. So that's my challenge to you this week. Yeah, do your minka at 2 p.m. When I was giving this drash, because I give this drash to the Indian folks yesterday morning, because their Shabbat starts earlier than ours. They said that their women meet every day at like 2 or 3 p.m. for an hour every day, and they do some Bible study and pray. And I was just like, wow. And I said, I was told them, you don't have to meet that long every day if you don't have time to do that. I just want you guys to, pray, but they're also, it sounds like they're going to try to get the men to like meet online every day. So I don't know. So that's amazing. But their schedule might be different than ours. But we used to do online minka, but we used to do it in the afternoon, like around 5 or 4:30 or something. Um, no, well, we might do that. Like my wife is pressuring me to do extra, other than what I'm asking you all to do. But we might get to that point. We'll see. We'll see when we come back and everyone is doing their minka at 2, and I could say, Bizrat Hashem. If everyone's doing their minka and they're ready to like jump on the call and like do it, get it quickly done, then that'll be awesome. But yeah. So, anyways, so that was my my drash. I just wanted to, encourage everybody to take that extra time out, spend some time with Hashem, morning, noon, and night, so that we are always in connection with Him, and it's a big blessing. It's a good mitzvah to do. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody. All right.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
This week, after Sarah's death,